As the holiday of Simchas Torah has just come to a close here in the United States, we are all absolutely mortified, shocked, as the details come in of the horrific, absolutely atrocities perpetrated against our brothers and sisters in the Holy Land. It seems appropriate to just share a few words, even though no words are adequate. So firstly, our hearts, our souls, our prayers, everything, every fiber of our beings goes out to the families, to the souls that have been ripped away from us. We first heard about the news as we were about to say Yizkor on Shmini Atzeret. Yizkor, where we talk about people who give their lives, their blood, simply because they're Jews. One day, since the Holocaust, there has not been the massacre of so many Jews in just one day. So the first is our hearts and our cries pierce the heavens, speaking to God Himself to avenge this blood. We don't have answers, but we must be able to understand that we have been through the worst of the worst, and we absolutely will prevail, just as we've prevailed in the past. Nobody wanted this, but we will come out stronger than ever. But as I said, first our hearts have to cry out for so much innocent blood. The war crimes, the atrocities that are being reported. I mean, it's completely unfathomable. So there's no question that we are praying also for the soldiers, the military in Israel and the Holy Land, for their protection, and to do whatever it takes to secure the protection of the Jewish people. There are many things that can be discussed. We're not here to point fingers. We're not looking now to blame anyone, but we're looking at to be introspective and understand that in addition to the physical war, which must be fought when you're dealing with such enemies, there's also a spiritual war at work. That's what kept us alive all these years. The great empires that persecuted Jews had greater weapons, more firepower, but they didn't have spirit. So together with our great firepower, or the greatest military in the world, there's also the spirit. And there's the question that all of us are asking, what can I do? So obviously anything we can do to support Israel, its people, its armies. We also have to do anything we can spiritually. In addition to financial support, in addition if you're a reserve and actually sacrificing your life to protect others. And what can we do spiritually? Spiritually, our connection at the end of the day. You can have the greatest army, but if it doesn't have the morale, does not have the connection to something deeper and higher. This is God's promised land. The Jewish people are God's people. So by strengthening our connection to God, strengthening our connection to God's laws and mitzvot, especially the ones that offer special protection, putting on tefillin every morning for males after bar mitzvah, which has a special quality of driving fear into our enemies, a mezuzah on our doorposts, which has a special quality of protection, giving charity, which helps other lives and therefore in turn helps our lives, and every good deed, and overall unity. If ever a time that we need unity, it's in times like this. Because at the end of the day, when Jews are united, despite our differences, despite our different opinions, we are indestructible. And that's truly the message of Simchas Torah, which is the great irony here. That on the day of indestructibility of the Jewish people, such a thing can happen. But we forge ahead. We may cry, and we should cry, but we also forge ahead with absolute confidence that we will prevail. And Am Yisrael Chai. And the Jewish people, through thousands of years, we've proven it. We will prove it yet again. to do everything possible to protect and eradicate any evil, literally the brutality, the bestial brutality on that end. But at the same time, we are warriors of light. We are warriors of peace. We are warriors of goodness. So we're not naive. We protect ourselves, but we also increase a tremendous amount of unity and light and love. That's how we ultimately prevail. God should protect every man, woman, and child in the Holy Land, everywhere in the world, but especially there. A special place, the Promised Land. And every shred of evil, every shred of enemy should be completely obliterated. And the best way for peace in the Promised Land is not through negotiation, it's through strength. When you have a sworn enemy that's capable of doing what we've seen, there's only one response: strength. We are not warriors by nature, but we will also not be taken for granted. And we will not go like sheep to the slaughter. We will do whatever it takes. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately the spirit, both of the soldiers fighting and all of us. We're in it together. We're in it together. And every war has to be fought on many different fronts. God, again, should protect the Jewish people in Israel, should protect all innocent people everywhere in the world, Jewish people especially. And we remember, we do not cower, and we do not shrink, we do not retreat in fear. We forge ahead. We will prevail with the eternity and the immortality of the strength of the Jewish people connected to the eternity and immortality of God, to the eternity and immortality of the complete and whole Holy Land, Eretz Israel. God bless our soldiers in Israel. God bless every man, woman, and child there. And may we do our part and not stand on the sideline and say, oh, we're thousands of miles away. No, we're part of it. And we're part of that battle and war as well. To do everything possible to support and help and spiritually bolster and reinforce on all fronts our personal lives, the lives of our families, communities. Reach out to someone. Be kinder. Repair rifts between families or communities or even strangers. Be more charitable. And yes, do the extra mitzvah, the extra good deed, and include in our prayers every man, woman, and child who needs those prayers now, and the families that have now been torn asunder due to this latest tragedy. And may we only be able to speak about peace as we go into the new year. Take the joy of Simchas Torah and take that joy to transform any negative thing into even greater joy and greater celebration, that it should be a blessed year, more than we ever could have imagined, despite this tragic beginning. God bless you. God bless us. God bless Israel. God bless the Jewish people.